Could be more proud of our players. Number one, just everything that they did to get us to this day. Starting back June 15th, the first workouts, did everything we asked them to do in the summer, kept each other safe, just gave us the chance, gave us the opportunity to play today. And then our performance, it's a season opener. There's a ton of stuff to correct. But our demeanor, our temperament on the sideline, the way the guys supported each other, and the way we just stayed after that UAB team, that's a really good UAB team. No one does what, in terms of rushing yards and total yards. No one, everyone in this profession knows that Bill Clark is an outstanding defensive coach, and to run for over 300 and have almost 500 yards of offense is really impressive. I thought defensively, other than, of course, the short field on the turnover, I thought we set the tone early. I thought our guys really looked relentless. There's some things, again, we have to correct, but I thought all those 3 and outs in the first half allowed our offense to get the ball back, and those snaps just start wearing down on the opposition. You could just see that cumulative effect of the snaps and the tempo in this humidity. It was very humid out there tonight, which is really the whole idea. And then kicking game. You know, we've seen the addition in the last 2 years of Headley last year and then Borregales this year. I think every kickoff was a touchback. We made our field goal. Headley, I mean, it was like a bomb after bomb, 47.5 average, long at 55, always putting them on a long field, very hard to drive the ball against our defense. So, again, a lot to correct from game one, but a lot to be proud of, and just thankful to be these guys' coach and have the opportunity to coach a football game in Hard Rock Stadium today.
Hey, Manny, congratulations. Obviously a huge night for both Rhett and De'Ara King. Talk a little bit about, just what they've been through in the last 4 weeks, putting this offense together, and what your initial impressions were as the head coach watching it on game day tonight.
Well, I think you saw a glimpse of what it can be. I mean, again, it took us a minute to get us going. They'll have. I mean, they already know that there's so many things that we can do better. I will say this: as a football team, we need to learn how to finish a game better. I didn't think we were as good in the fourth quarter as we were in the third, but they put so much stress on the defense, and then De'Ara, obviously with his running ability on some of those scrambles, the touchdown. And there's always a threat of the explosive play. Cam Harris's first touchdown on the fourth down really got us going there in the first quarter. And so I'm proud of those guys. I'm proud of the way that we were physical and ran the football. That UAB team went to Tennessee a year ago and held them to about 300 yards of offense. And so to put 337 rushing on them in an opener with a ton of mistakes is very encouraging to me.
Yeah, Coach, I have 2 questions, I guess. Number one, how much of a debate was it on that 4th and 1, I think, where Cam busted the touchdown? How close were you to thinking about punting the ball? And then the other question I have is every time UAB scored a touchdown, I believe you guys answered with a touchdown of your own. What does that say about how De'Ara King responds to adverse situations when the game got tight and he was able to respond with a touchdown drive?
Yeah, I agree. If that's not true, it certainly felt like that. It felt like every time UAB made a little bit of a run that we countered right back down the field with a touchdown drive. So, one, I think that's just the play the next play mentality that our entire football team has, that we can pick up, either side of the ball can pick up the other side. So even when we were, not moving the ball sometimes in the first half, the defense went out there and just got another 3 and out. I thought that the team ball was really good in that regard. In terms of the 4th down call, I thought that was pretty straightforward. I mean, it was 1 to go, and again, when you have the element of the quarterback's legs, it just adds another gap and just gets somebody's eyes off. And they were really in a sellout, everybody up there defense. So once Cam broke the front line, there was no one left to get him.
Hey, Manny, congratulations. You guys ended up running the ball 2 times as much as you threw it tonight. Is that kind of the identity you think you guys are going to have with this power spread offense, or do you think there could eventually be more balance down the road?
It'll be what is needed to win that game, but we wanted to make a statement. We wanted to lean on this football team, and we wanted to pound the rock. And even early on, when some of those runs were 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, we wanted to stay after it, stay relentless, and just continue to pound the ball. And UAB played a front this game that they did not play a week ago, so we had to make some adjustments to that. But I'm proud of our guys for just staying after it.
Hey Manny, you guys ran 78 plays tonight, and tempo was one of the things that you talked about with Grant Lashley coming in. Where did the offensive line's role go as far as those plays, and what did you think of the offensive line's contribution to those 78 plays?
I was proud of the way that those guys got after that UAB front. You know, I mean, all those rushing yards came into a loaded box where, you know, they had an extra hitter, so you had to be moving some people. I thought they did a really nice job, and it was 78 plays, and that's with us taking the foot off the gas, you know, in the last part of the fourth quarter. So, again, we got a lot of snaps, and I think you could tell the difference in terms of how that wore UAB down.
Hey man, first of all, real quick before you get to follow, we saw the news that Kylie on Herbert and Zelensky Hillary are now unavailable for the season. Are those opt-outs?
Yeah, both those guys opted out sometime in the month of August, and we'll welcome both those guys back in January.
Okay, great. And I also wanted to ask about not only the run offense, but the run defense. Just a few of them got out for UAB, but aside from that, mostly very solid in that area. Your thoughts? You're tackling for the first time in the game in a long time.
Yeah, I thought for the most part, I thought the tackling for game one was pretty good. Just, you know, there's one or two in space that bothered us. UAB kind of switched running schemes from last season. You know, they became more of an outside zone team. Like you say, there was a lot of times where we got them with some tackle for losses, some negative yardage plays. They popped them out, a couple out of there, which would be a good lesson because we probably play the best outside zone team in the country next week in Louisville. So it'll be a good lesson for us to watch. It'll be a good lesson for, you know, good film for Louisville to watch. And again, find some things that we have to do better technique-wise.
Hey Manny, the two freshman running backs are obviously pretty impressive today. You guys have played running backs as freshmen in the last couple of years here, but those two, to be ready for this opener to play like that, how impressive were they throughout the preseason? Obviously, we didn't get to see very much of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you saw tonight is what we saw during the preseason. And I'm sure they'll look at some of their runs and see where they can make some different cuts, but the name of the game is explosion. So in addition to the fact they both got, you know, 6 yards of carry, you know, a 25-yarder for Knighton and a 33-yarder for Chaney, where you can just really flip the field and just make big things happen. All those guys have the opportunity to do that in the open field. And again, really proud for Cam for his long run because, as I've been mentioning all year, Cam's work ethic this calendar year has been through the charts. So you always want to see a guy like that rewarded, you know, in the game, you know, worthy of their effort.
Hey, Manny, congrats on the win. Two quick things. One, if you had an update on what the situation was with Tate Martell, that he wasn't available in the game. And then two, I'm just curious, given how strange this whole situation is, I mean, you're here doing a Zoom meeting with a mask on. How much did you sort of sense the difference during the game of the environment that you were in versus did it just become sort of a familiar thing being on the sideline and coaching football?
I mean, ball is ball. You know, once the game started, you're so wrapped up into the game. Certainly, the environment was a little bit different. I've got to say, it was great to see the fans that were able to come to the game. This is the first, you know, major sporting event in Dade County since, you know, mid-March, and just to have that sense of community and have our players see, you know, people supporting him and stuff like that. Again, this was not promised to us, so we were happy to have the fans we had and thought they did a great job during the game. And then to answer your question on Tate Martell, Tate was just suspended for this game, team matter, and we'll be back after this game.
Hey Manny, it's been a while, obviously, since you guys won. How nice is it to have the victory and to start off the right way? That's my first question.
Yes, I would. Just the locker room I just left, I would say everybody definitely feels it was nice to start off with a victory. It has been a while since we won a game, and we talked all year about respecting how difficult it is to win a game and how hard these guys work. So to see that locker room was a great reward for everybody in there.